When people hear this story, it's, most people are pretty willing to lend a hand.
A life changed in an instant. A Portland cyclist now in a wheelchair, and he has to figure out how to go forward with the rest of his life.
Brian Duncan was severely injured in a cycling accident. A driver ran a stoplight in North Portland and hit Brian in the crosswalk. KGW's Chris Willis joins us now. And Chris, even though this happened a year ago, life is still very challenging.
Yeah, it is, because Brian spent 9 months in hospitals, in rehab, and in physical therapy. His life forever changed. When he finally did get home, he quickly realized the house that he and his wife and daughter were living in would not accommodate his new life in a wheelchair. And then something special happened. His life changed again thanks to some special people.
It's just one of those instances where you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
In North Portland, just down the street from life-changing, is the intersection of Rosa Parks and Delaware. 37-year-old Portland cyclist Brian Duncan knows that spot far too well.
I got hit by a gentleman who ran the red light.
It was almost a year ago, March 30th. Brian was riding his bike home from Arbor Lodge Park when he was hit in the crosswalk of Rosa Parks in Delaware.
That momentary lapse in awareness can change a life in an instant.
It almost killed him, and it did paralyze him. The devoted husband, who actually once used his bike to court his wife.
Our second date was a 60-mile bike ride. Put her to the test.
Spent the next 9 months in rehab and physical therapy, now confined to a wheelchair. And when he finally got home, just weeks ago, the husband and father of a 3-year-old daughter had to start over.
Being in a chair and being, paralyzed, how to start sort of reintegrating myself in daily life and, figuring out, how to be a father, how to be a husband again.
It's a reality Brian never imagined, but it was now staring him right in the face. Life in a wheelchair would be nearly impossible in the small 2-story home that he'd bought and renovated with his wife. But with medical bills in the millions of dollars, 24-hour care, and ongoing treatment expenses, his options were limited at best. Or so we thought.
It was the first time I ever had a call about a project where I said, yes, I'll do this, without even looking at it.
Brian's friend, Corey Omi, is a neighbor. He too is a cyclist, and he just happens to be an architect.
When I heard about the crash, it hit me hard.
And that's when Corey put the wheels back in motion. A 1-story ranch home hit the market, and the Duncans scraped together enough to buy it. And it was just 2 blocks north of their current home.
My daughter can still play with her friends, and we still have our friends close by.
And that may be the most important part of this story, because friends nearby quickly took over, and then things took off.
Within 3 weeks, we had it developed enough to get started, and then broke ground and went for it.
Major renovations to accommodate Brian's wheelchair, and his new life were put in motion.
I went to, our lighting consultant who used to be a bike racer, our structural consultant who used to race bikes as well, and said, hey, this is something I want to give to. This is something I want to do. We're doing this project. Will you help?
The answer was a resounding yes. Donations of materials, time, and expertise came pouring in. Those involved say the profit margin was huge, and at the same time had nothing to do with money. This was simply a labor of love.
The fact that we're actually doing a project that needs to happen, everyone's really psyched to pitch in.
You're getting a lot in return.
The home was made wheelchair accessible. Walls were widened, floors and lighting redone. A track system was put in to transport Brian to the facilities, the shower, and his bed.
So double pocket door slides in here with the track running right above it, so the track runs through above the pocket door.
Making sure it's something we're proud of at the end.
The end is now the beginning of the rest of Brian's life. It's work that will help Brian get around his home, but more importantly, it may help his outlook as well.
I've been fortunate, not everybody's fortunate as I am, to have a good support network with family that's been just tremendous, and then the neighborhood and friends and here in Portland.
Such a cool guy. Hey, March 30th will be 1 year since Brian's accident, and they're hoping to move into their new home this month. He told me a couple times he feels lucky to have such a great support system that has helped him, but admits not everyone is that fortunate. So one of his efforts going forward involves a nonprofit called Portland Refit. They help people in similar situations live independent lives at home. Brian's journey, meantime, which is ongoing, can be followed at 2blocksnorth.net.
And he's thinking of others.
Yeah, he
I
is
mean, come
already.
on,
Well,
right?
to say not everyone's as fortunate as I am. What
Yeah.
a powerful statement. From
So
him.
many special
Great
people
guy.
involved in that. Yeah, it was neat.
Great story,
It
Chris.
is.
Thank you.
It is.